Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Tragedy in Southfield. A teenager shot in the head during a hotel sleepover. Tonight, why police say all of this could have been avoided. Investigators are filling in some of the gaps about what happened inside an Oakland County hotel over the weekend, and it tops our news at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. We now know 5 teenagers were in the room unsupervised when that shooting happened Sunday morning at the Westin Hotel. When officers got there, they found a 15-year-old boy with a gunshot wound to his head. Sean Lay joins us live. And Sean, the child is not expected to survive in this case.
Well, Police Chief Elvin Barron here in Southfield tells me the 15-year-old is in he says grave condition in a state that he calls unsurvivable right now over at Providence High School. Now, he is a 15-year-old 10th grader at Loyola High School in Detroit. The high school putting out a letter today to parents and families saying they are supporting this family with the child in the hospital, also supporting the Loyola family as well with counselors. Meantime, major investigation going on here. Who booked a room here on the 7th floor for all these teenagers, 5 in total, and how how did that teenager get 2 handguns?
What we discovered is that an adult rented the room for them and then turned the room over to them.
An adult turning that room at the Westin over to 5 teens, 1 16-year-old, 4 15-year-olds, leaving them in a 7th floor room unsupervised. Just after 8:30 Sunday morning, a 15-year-old Loyola High School student was shot in his head. Police say his injury is likely non-survivable. Southfield police rushed to the 7th floor and stopped 2 teens at the elevators. 1 teen had 2 handguns on him.
During that investigation, they discovered that one of the 2 juveniles was in possession of a stolen Glock 22 .40 caliber handgun with a 22-round extended magazine equipped with the laser light, and he had this hidden on his groin area. And again, this firearm was reported stolen on June 5th out of the city of Flint, Michigan.
The other handgun found on that teen, a Glock 9mm with an extended magazine. 1 spent .40 caliber shell casing was found in the room. Police say the .40 caliber Glock they believe was used to shoot the 15-year-old. Questions: who had that stolen gun? Who had the other handgun that has no ownership paper trail? Who did not secure those guns? And who booked that room for kids?
There's no sense you can make out of a 15-year-old struggling for life. And as the deputy chief alluded to, he's in grave condition. I'll say it again, grave condition, and this could have been prevented.
Chief Barron frustrated there, talking to the public, saying he's getting calls about this all day long, about how this could happen. His investigators are on it, tracking down any adult involved in this, renting the room here, reserving the room, and handing it over to those kids, also tracking down where these guns came from and who didn't secure the guns that a 15-year-old could get access to those guns. Again, the other 15-year-old, grave condition, as you heard. The 15-year-old with the guns, guys, he's been charged with carrying concealed weapons, but all that could change if it's somehow developed. They get more information about who fired the guns.
And so many questions remain in this, Sean. We know you'll keep us posted
Truly.
as we learn more. We appreciate it. Well, tomorrow marks a painful anniversary for several families and the entire community at Michigan State University.
February 13th, 2023, a gunman killed 3 students and wounded 5 others. Tomorrow, classes are going to be canceled, but the university does remain open to offer support to those who need it. Religious leaders and crisis counselors will be available all day at the Alumni Memorial Chapel. And there's going to be a remembrance gathering at 7:30 tomorrow night with a short program that will start at 8:10 p.m. But as our Victor Williams found out today, the university is working around the clock and trying to get creative to help the community rebuild.
Finding multiple ways to help students heal after instances of mass violence, that's the goal of the Resiliency Center, and that's exactly the reason why Wiley is here to help as many students as possible.
This will be our multi-purpose room. Our job is to support open up as many different pathways to healing as possible.
One day before the 1-year anniversary of the tragic school shooting on the campus of MSU, we're taking a look at the United Resiliency Center designed to assist with the aftermath of the trauma.
We offer things like individual therapy, group therapy. We go out into the community and talk to those who might need some psychoeducation around trauma responses.
MSU isn't the only school community where the services of the United Resiliency Center were needed. One location has also been placed in Oxford.
We want to encourage students, first responders, community members to come in and just have a safe, quiet place just to be comfortable.
You'll find Wiley the therapy dog at both sites to help emotionally.
She provides comfort when someone might be in distress. Sometimes people don't know that they need some comfort, and she will come to you and lie on your feet or, get close to your legs.
And students like Elliot Miller and Priscilla Goska couldn't be more pleased with the effort the center is putting forward.
I think it's always great to have resources like that, so I think it'd be good to look into and just good for anybody to check out.
It's really nice to know that they actually care. I personally know someone who was very close to one of the people who was affected by it. And I know she really appreciates that MSU still provides like a strong community and provides endless amount of resources for them.
And these luminaries are available for free with a theme of Spartans Together. It's a great way to show your support to the victims of the shooting that took place about a year ago. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Victor, tomorrow on the Daily Plus, our Christy McDonald sitting down with the president of ASMSU, the student government of Michigan State, to talk about how students banded together to get through this past year, and also talk about what's being done to keep spirits high and students safe on campus. New tonight at 6, an ethics complaint has been filed against Macomb County Prosecutor Pete Lucido. The complaint alleges Lucido allowed a former Sterling Heights City Council candidate to use county property to create campaign materials. In connection to his 2021 campaign, Paul Monty pleaded guilty to falsifying absentee voter ballots last year. We've reached out to Lucido's office for comment, and we are still waiting to hear back.
Demolition got underway this morning on the Hannon Memorial YMCA building on Detroit's east side. The historic site was first opened in 1928 and served the community for decades. But it's been sitting empty for more than 2 decades, and the city says it's a hazard. While some folks we talked to say they're sad to see the landmark come down, city crews say it was the most cost-effective option.
There were efforts to try and do a renovation. There was some development kind of research and investigation to see what that cost would be, and everyone understood that it was way more expensive, and it was going to probably be hard to get someone or get a development deal for this property because of that cost.
Demolition will take some time due to the size of the building. The timeline right now for tear down and cleanup is 2 to 3 months. As for what's next for the property, that remains up in the air. And a 72-year-old pilot walks away from this plane crash after slamming his Piper Cub into a tree. It happened in Green Oak Township just a few hours ago outside a private airfield near Rushton Road and 8 Mile. The pilot somehow managed to climb out and get to the ground by himself. We're told a gust of wind pushed the plane off course during landing. The FAA is investigating.
Several new laws are going into effect in Michigan this week. They impact a wide range of issues from gun safety to abortion access. Here's a quick breakdown of a few of them. Michiganders will now be required to keep a firearm stored, unloaded, and locked, either with a locking device or stored in a locked container. While abortion became legal in Michigan back in 2022, there were still several barriers to abortion care remaining, and the Reproductive Health Act will go into effect soon and repeal most of those roadblocks. Also, third-grade students in Michigan will no longer be held back because of low reading scores. Now, students will be placed in reading programs, and parents will be given information about intervention options. Just the tip of a pretty big iceberg. You can find a comprehensive list about the state's new laws at clickondetroit.com.
Michigan's state House Speaker is taking action against a Republican lawmaker involved in a social media controversy. Today, Democratic House Speaker Joe Tate stripped State Rep Josh Shriver of his committee assignments and other perks. The reason? He reposted a graphic about a racist population conspiracy theory called the Great Replacement. Tate says he made the move because the House should not be used as a forum for hate speech. Shriver is doubling down on his post, saying the criticism he's facing is a, quote, anti-white agenda. A warning tonight from the FBI regarding those of you looking for love online. Romance scams are on the rise, and you may be surprised to learn who's being targeted.
Yeah, our concerned investigator Hank Winchester live with us, and some of the victims in this are losing big money, Hank.
Yeah, Devin, we're talking thousands of dollars. You know, it's a season of love, so you may be on those popular dating websites or maybe a dating app like this one. But what you need to know is that these scammers are targeting seniors. And unfortunately, as you'll see, they're getting away with a lot of money. If you're looking for love online, you are certainly not alone, especially this time of year. Traffic on dating websites and apps up 20%. We're talking Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, eHarmony, and Match.com.
I've talked to a million people that said they've met people on eHarmony, on Match, and they're happily married. And so I didn't have any reason to question it.
But the romance scammers are out there too. Look at the numbers. Last year, more than 57,000 people targeted. The total losses, more than 640 million. The average victim loses about $5,000. And right now, seniors like Diane, they're the ones being targeted.
I went through my bank statements and it was $270,000.
Diane lost big money communicating with someone she thought was real. He was a fake.
Hey Diane, how you doing? This is Jerry. Can you please call me right back so we can talk, please?
Now the FBI and the IRS both putting out the alert. They want you to be aware and cautious online.
Unfortunately for the criminals, they're always thinking of new ways, so it's always fraud season for them. They're always trying to get into our pockets.
And if somebody is engaging with you in these conversations online, they're not rather agreeing to meet in person, but they're asking you for cash. Understand that is obviously a major red flag. It may be an uncomfortable or strange conversation, but the FBI also encouraging you to have these conversations with the seniors in your life, your mother or your father, if they're single, if they're looking for somebody. Just have them understand that there are certain dangers out there as they may be starting these new relationships with people they don't know.
Yeah.
We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank, back to you.
Okay, Hank, we appreciate it.
Let's get a check of the weather now on a sunny start to the weekend. We just always think that makes things feel better. And we mentioned earlier, look at the sun still out.
I know. Let's live look here at our Southfield Sky Cam. Forward meteorologist Kim Adams joins us with a look at your first forecast. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. Well, what a beautiful sunset we just had. You can see still some pink in the sky downtown. Live shot from our Windsor Sky Cam. Temperatures are falling, though, now that the sun has set. They'll fall pretty quickly under those clear skies. 38 in Detroit, 37 in Howell, 38 in Pontiac, and 39 in Adrian. We've dropped from the low 40s last hour down into the upper 30s this hour, and even close to the mid 30s in Mount Clemens and Port Huron, 36 in Monroe, 38 out at the airport. It's still warmer than it was yesterday, but not by much. And a wintry mix is going to return to Metro Detroit later on this week. But tomorrow we'll go back into the upper 30s. We will have a few more clouds than we had today, and you'll also notice the winds are a bit stronger tomorrow. So even though the high is 37, it's going to feel more like it's in the 20s. So the weather story, no big warm up in sight, certainly no warm up like we had last week. Rain snow mix for Thursday that I'll talk about in the forecast, and then a few flakes linger around for Friday and into Saturday. We'll talk about all of it in just a few minutes.